The Drive-In. Once the site of lurid celluloid fantasies, it's now the site of an art exhibition. And yet, it's the search for closure rather than culture that brings the champion of light here.
So, since we've been dropped off at a new location, they decided to do the classic trick of putting a collectible behind the starting point. So before we get started, we'll go get that. Now, the drive-in theater is a much more open area than the observatory, but not necessarily than the motel. So there will be a lot more wandering here to try to find everything.
Oh, it's you. That's fantastic.
Are you okay?
Go away. No, I want you. But you'll get angry if you're here. So, you gotta go. You know I'll do what you want.
Okay.
I love you so much. Did you know that love hurts? Are you gonna hurt me now? 'Cause you should.
Lady, you got darkness on the brain. I think I can help you if I can get the lights on in here.
You can't turn the power back on. It's not allowed. You said.
So, where shouldn't I go so I don't turn the power back on accidentally?
It's the big building on the other side of the drive-in, but it's locked.
Where's the key? Just so that I know to avoid it.
It's on the wall next to the cash register. But you can't. You can't. Don't be bad.
Hey, no problem. I'm just gonna go do some other stuff. Scout's honor. Just try to stay calm. I've seen this kind of thing before. I think you're gonna be okay.
Why is it so hard to think?
You've been touched by darkness. I'm hoping it's not permanent.
Remember when you were here before and you kissed me and then everything got all dark? That was the best.
Listen, this is very important. Where did I go? Can you tell me that?
Baby, you don't need to go anywhere. You're here now and you're in my head. You should be in me. You should touch me again.
Not with a 10-foot pole, lady.
So this whole conversation's pretty weird.
Hey, just in case there's a part of you in there that's freaking out right now, it's not your fault. I promise I'll do what I can to help you, okay?
I don't... Please go away.
Don't sweat it. I'm just saying that in case you really need to hear it, I've been there.
I think there are spiders in my eyes. I think you put them in me.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go now.
Now, I know they have the excuse that she's possessed, therefore she's not quite acting right, but I gotta say that her dialogue is written pretty terribly.
And we're back with Old Gods of Asgard and their manager, Barry Wheeler. Guys, you're on your comeback tour, and you're playing a lot of your classic material, but you've also got a new single out, right? How'd that come about? Was it hard to go back into the studio after such a long time?
Are you kidding me? They were chomping at the bit. They were just itching to stretch those creative muscles. Now, it had been a while because, they spent a lot of time in,
Retirement. We were retired.
We were?
Yeah.
No. We were at the lodge, and
We escaped. We were at the retirement,
retirement thing.
Yeah.
So, really, once we got in the studio, things started happening. Now, the music has changed a little bit, and the boys were a little rusty, so it took us a while to find the right gear. But hey, once we got going, whoo, boy, they kicked ass. And it's an awesome song. It's called Balance Slays the Demon, and seriously, I think it's their finest work. And hey, I should know, I produced it.
Oh, really? I didn't know you were a producer.
Well, this was my first time. I mean, they needed a little bit of guidance, you know what I mean? I mean, don't get me wrong, these guys are the best. But it's the 21st century, man. Things just sound a little different these days. So, you know, I kind of stepped in there, helped them make it sound all cool, kind of jazzed it up.
That sounds like a challenge.
Oh, no, it was really easy, man. I was just, you know, like, hey, give it a little zing, you know? Let's take it to another level so it really rips. You know, let's just throw some really sweet synths in. Like that, you know, just kicked it up a notch, but it's totally old gods.
Well, listeners, you can judge for yourselves. Here's Old Gods of Asgard and Balance Slays the Demon.
Oh, yeah.
Deep in the ocean of darkness, in the mirror of light, balance becomes a stranger, and in your fantasies, he rides a storm on your peace.
The man has encountered this before. People whose integrity has been suborned by the insidious touch of the darkness. He has experienced it himself, but merciful light burned away the darkness in his brain.
So it sounds like that song is just gonna keep on playing. And as much as I'd love to hear it filtered through an old radio like that, trust me, we'll have a really good opportunity to hear it a lot later in the game. For now, let's focus on getting the power back on and maybe help that woman act a little less crazy.
Whoa! Not good.
And unfortunately, 30 is still fairly outside what we have right now, so we won't be getting the sawed-off shotgun. So the crossbow is maybe the most powerful weapon in the game, but it's really hard for me to aim it because I think I'm just terrible. So I'll be trying to show it off since it can pierce through the darkness, so I don't have to use my flashlight on every enemy first, but it's just a little bit too unwieldy. Also, that reload time leaves something to be desired. So here I'm going to attempt to demo shooting through the darkness, but again, I'm just not that good with it. One thing I do like is that from both the motel and the drive-in movie theater, you can see the observatory lights all the way from down here.
Oh, look! Mr. Hero's here! You ready to save the day?
Now, although fighting these guys with a bunch of poltergeist cars being thrown around would be quite a problem, thankfully they are merciful enough to not do that to us. Unfortunately for those guys that split up, I am really ill-equipped to be dealing with them right now, because if there's one weapon that's worse than the nail gun for them, it would be the crossbow.
Told you I'm a psycho. Really? I'm a
You know, I would give just about anything to be in the studio that day, or at least just to see the outtakes of them creating that particular TV tape. Because, I think they're getting a little abstract at this point.
You are gonna shit yourself when you realize what I have done. Shut up!
Honestly, I think that's the best response. There's really nothing else you can say than to just tell Mr. Scratch to just kind of fuck off. So there I get a good demo of how the crossbow works. You can shoot it through the darkness, but it's sort of hard to do that on the lesser enemies since aiming with it will kind of get rid of the darkness anyway, just because of your flashlight. So the crossbow is definitely a bigger enemies kind of weapon. So we've arrived in the power plant. This seems like it would be a pretty good place to try to reactivate the power. Thankfully, it's not that complicated.
Okay, I should be able to figure this out.
So to reactivate the power, it's a little bit tricky. You can't just throw all these switches and have it work. But if you look at these lights, it seems that the left and right one are green, so let's deactivate that middle switch.
Red lights, green lights. They have to mean something.
Now, I do question the safety regulation stuff, whatever, of a power plant that lets their electricity flow like this. Now, I'm no expert, but I'm pretty sure that would be considered incredibly deadly. Just like ridiculously, obscenely killer. So, now that we have the power turned on, I can't see why we just don't go back the way we came. You know what? I think that's a pretty good reason. And oh good, it seems like the crazy electricity isn't just inside the building. Now, if I were to get hit by any of these electric pulses, or whatever you would call them, it's not really even that deadly. It would hit me for a little bit less than a third of my health, so nothing I can't recover from.
You have no idea how badly you're screwed! It's gonna be a blast to watch you find out. Don't want to get hit by those.
So this little encounter introduces my least favorite enemy in the game, the Grenadier. These guys will really stay far away from you and throw grenades, which they do hurt other Taken if they're caught in the blast radius, but they are incredibly annoying to get hit by. You can freeze them in place even from great distances just by shining your flashlight on them, but they're usually running around so quickly that it's hard to get a beat on them. It'll be especially annoying when there are fights with 2 or more of them, something I'm not really looking forward to. Or I guess they'll just start throwing multiple Grenadiers at us right away. So the movie currently being shown through the projector is just the first TV show that we saw, so no real use in watching it, especially without sound. But let's go check on that lady, see if she is still, weird.
Hey, wait.
You really do have to love the utility of the shotgun.
No, don't. Oh, it's not. It's you. Did you help me?
Looks like you're feeling better now.
Yes, I am. Thank you so much. I don't know what happened. There was this guy.
Before you say anything, I know I look like him, but I'm not.
Don't worry. You just don't feel anything like he does. He was in my head. I feel like I need to take 50 showers.
Where is he?
That asshole wanted to get into the projector booth. He was talking about fixing things so the sun never comes up. God, it didn't seem that weird when he was saying it. It sounded really good at the time.
You weren't yourself. The projector booth. That sounds about right. I need to get in there.
I have the access code for the door. Here.
Thanks.
I'm just glad you showed up now. He said he'd be back after he'd arranged for some security.
Do you feel up to telling me what's going on here?
We have an art exhibition here, supposed to open tomorrow. I'm the curator. My name's Serena Valdivia.
Alan Wake.
Holy shit, it is you. I've seen you on the big screen. I know your wife.
You know Alice? Wait. Big screen.
Yeah, we have a film from her here. What the hell happened to you?
Well, about that.
Getting back to Alice.
Oh, God, yeah, sorry. It's quite a coincidence that you're here. She made this short film. She shot it years ago. You're in it. It's a part of the exhibition.
I'm in a film?
Yeah, it's like... it's just footage she shot of you at some point, but she turned it into this thing. It's, almost like a memorial of sorts, because, you're supposed to be dead, or something.
Uh-huh. How's Alice? Is she all right?
She's okay, I guess, all things considered. I know her pretty well. You're really Alan? I can't believe you're here. Nobody knows what happened to you. But there are people who say they've seen you.
That wasn't me. He just looks the same. Like,
Yeah, but that guy's a lot more slimy. The thought of him makes me... I hate him, but there's something about him, God, he's so creepy. Anyway, you're not like him. At all. I hope you can stop him.
Well, the good news is she does talk like a normal human being when she's not being possessed. But it sounds like our evil little doppelganger has got some plans of his own. And I really don't like the sound of more security.
That's the security system? I guess it was too much to hope for an alarm and a fat rent-a-car.
So in order to get rid of that extra security, we have to take down these dark fountains. We just use our flashlight, flares, flashbangs, really anything that generates light. Each fountain will have a bunch of enemies around it, but you don't actually have to take them out, so long as you can destroy that fountain quickly enough. So a general strategy for these things is to not focus on the bad guys and just use whatever you have on you to get rid of those dark fountains. And after all that, it's eerily quiet, but actually quiet for good.
The champion of light can feel the fragment of the signal in his pocket, the weapon that can change what will be. It's incomplete, but it's all he has.
So, much like the oil derrick from part 1, we need to set the stage here with a couple of different things. And oh look, a reference to Death Rally, a Remedy game from way back at this point. So it sounds like we need to change the clock and change the calendar. And thankfully we get a flash of light when we've set something correctly.
Oh, hell, this isn't going right. You've been up to something, haven't you? Too bad it's not gonna do any good. I'm a better you than you ever will be, and I've got all the time in the world. Everything you've got's going to be mine. Your life. Your wife! What are you gonna do about it? The sun's never coming up now. I can keep this up forever. Show yourself!